Hi students, welcome to yet another session of my class. We are going to discuss a new poem, Nods Towards a Poem That Can Never Be Written by Margaret Atwood. Yes, let us discuss something about our poet Margaret Atwood. The poem is Nods Towards a Poem That Can Never Be Written. Yes. Margaret Eleanor Atwood, that is her full name, Margaret Eleanor Atwood, and she is born on 1939, and she is a noted feminist, poet, and writer of prose fiction who was born in Ottawa, Canada. That means she is a Canadian writer, and she is a noted feminist, poet, and writer of prose fiction, and she was born in Ottawa, Canada. That means she is a Canadian writer. Her fiction primarily focuses on themes of exploitation and victimization. Yes, most of her poems dealt with the theme of exploitation and victimization, that is oppression or suppression, victimization. Her concern for people, apprehension of the prevalent materialism, and a love of the natural world feature in her early poetry collections. So, her early poetry collections, namely Double Persephone, The Circle Game, and The Animals in That Country, these three are her early poetry collections, and these poetry collections dealt with the theme, that is her concern for people, mainly people of Canada, then apprehension of the prevalent materialism and love of the natural world. Yes, most of his early collections, that is mainly these three collections, poetry collections mainly dealt with these themes. And she was influenced by Jean-Paul Sartre, Samuel Beckett, Franz Kafka, Eugene Ionesco, Northrop Frye, and the poet J. Macpherson, and she considered them as her literary models. Yes, yes, she was influenced by, that is, some writers, that is, Jean-Paul Sartre, then Samuel Beckett, Franz Kafka, Eugene Ionesco, Northrop Frye, and the poet J. Macpherson. That is, she was highly influenced by the writings and ideals of all these writers, and she considered these writers as her literary models. Then, apprehension of the prevalent materialism, in the sense, apprehension means expresses her anxiety. Anxiety in what? Of the prevalent materialism. Prevalent in the sense means widespread. That widespread materialism means that is giving much importance to material possessions and giving much importance to physical um uh, physical thing than spiritual experience. That is giving much importance to one's physicality, that material possessions, than spiritualism, that is materialism, that is apprehension, that is she, through her writings she expresses her anxiety among the people who gave much importance to materialism or material possessions than this spiritualism. That is her early poetry collections. Then, in Survival, a thematic guide to Canadian literature, it is a work that was published in 1972. And in that particular text or book, Atwood asserts that Canadian literature is primarily concerned with the question of survival. So, in that particular book, Atwood asserts that she emphasizes that Canadian literature is primarily concerned with the question of survival. In the 1980s, Atwood was actively involved with the Amnesty International. Yes, during 1980s, she was actively involved with the Amnesty International. Amnesty International, it is an international organization regarding the protection of human rights. that is Amnesty International. So she was actively involved in the or actively working in this particular movement, that is Amnesty International, which stood for the cause of human rights and opposed political oppression and destruction of the environment. Yes, this group or this organization, that is Amnesty International, they stood for the cause of human rights. That is, their main objective was to protect human rights and oppose the political oppression. That is, they raised their voice against the political oppression and destruction of the environment. And during 1980s, she was actively involved with this particular organization. That means she was actively working or raised her voice for the um protection of human rights and the political oppression and also destruction of the environment. When she met Carolyn Forche, an American poet, at the Portland Festival in Oregon, Forche told Atwood that most people are sadly unaware of the atrocities in Central America. Yes. Then she explained one incident that when she met Carolyn Forche, this Carolyn Forche was an American poet. And when Atwood met this American poet at the Portland Festival in Oregon, this Forte told Atwood that most people are sadly unaware. Most people are unaware of the atrocities or that cruelties or the brutalities in Central America. They also discussed the precarious political position in the Caribbean. And during the conversation, they also discussed about the political position, precarious political position in the Caribbean. This incited Atwood to write this particular poem. This incident or this meeting between Caroline Forte and Atwood and the matter they discussed, that is regarding the atrocities in Central America as well as the political position in the Caribbean. So this meeting incited Atwood to write this particular poem, Notes towards a poem that can never be written. Later published in the collection named True Stories. That may be one more question. That is Notes towards a poem that can never be written. That particular poem was later published in a poetry collection named True Stories in 1981. And which deal with torture and other forms of suffering and suppression in the regimes of power. Then what is this poem about? This poem deals with what? Torture and other forms of suffering and suppression in the regimes of power. Yes, at that time, this Canadian government or the political power in that country, they tried to oppress and torture the poor people, that is the and other forms of suffering and suppression in the regimes of power, that is the dictatorial power or regime. And she dedicated the title of the poem to Forte, and she dedicated, that is also one more question may be asked. It is that title of the poem, that is Notes towards a poem that can never be written. The title of the poem, that is dedicated to her friend named Caroline Forche. Then what is this? The poem is apparently an account of the inhuman conditions of a famine-stricken place and of the horrific atrocities done to a woman about which no poem can be written. Yes. At that time, people of that country, they are not allowed to express their feelings, emotions, and they are not allowed to raise their voice against any injustice or something like that. That means that political power or the dictatorial regime, they try to suppress the people of that country, especially women. And these women writers and other writers also, they are not allowed to express freely regarding the atrocities or their emotions or other things in the poems. They were brutally killed or tortured by this political power. So this poem is, and here she starts her poem. This is the place. That is, this is the place she starts her poem by describing her own homeland, that is Canada. What is the condition? What is the present condition that is existing in her homeland? And she compares that present, that condition. That condition means that condition of inhumanity, that condition of inhumanity that is compared with a famine-stricken place. So the poem is apparently an account of the inhuman conditions of a famine-stricken place. That is, she compared that situations, the inhuman condition, with a famine-stricken place, and of the horrific atrocities done to a woman about which no poem can be written. That is, the women writers, they are not allowed to express freely. They have no freedom to express themselves. So, yes, so the atrocities or the horrific atrocities done to a woman, especially a woman writer about which no poem can be written. At the metaphorical level, the poem symbolizes deprivation in all its aspects. Yes, here at the secondary level or the metaphorical literal level, we can say that this particular poem symbolizes the deprivation. That is a suppression or oppression in all its aspects. All its aspects in the sense means freedom of speech. They have no right to express freely, or there's no freedom of speech, and also other civil rights in a totalitarian or dictatorial regime. And nevertheless, the poem emphasizes the need to write, especially in places like Canada, where the truth can be told without fear of political retribution. With the help of this poem and also with the help of her other writings, she is trying to emphasize the need of writing poems. She emphasizes the need to write, especially in places like Canada, where the truth can be told. Yes, she is emphasizing the need to write, especially in places like Canada, where the truth can be told without fear of political retribution. Yes, truth should be expressed without any fear of political retribution. She is expressing that through her poem. And the poem is also about the powerlessness of words in countries where a person can lose his or her life on account of his or her spoken or written word, and the inefficacy of words in places where no one bothers to listen. And moreover, this particular poem is also about the powerlessness of words. And we all know that words have power, that is more power than sound. But here she expressed that the powerlessness of words in countries. What type of countries? In countries like Canada, where a person can lose his or her life. Yes, such people. That is a writer, one who expresses freely regarding the atrocities or the injustice that is going on in his country. So where a person can lose his or her life and he or she may be brutally killed by the political power. So, or he or she can lose her life on account of his or her spoken word. Either, yes, it is because of his or her spoken or written word. Spoken or written in the sense either through their speech or through their writings, and the inefficacy of words in places where no one bothers to listen. So, here, with the help of this particular poem, she is expressing that powerlessness of words in such countries where a person can lose his or her life on account of his or her spoken or written word, and also the inefficacy of words in places where no one bothers to listen. Yes, no one tries to understand or listen to these spoken or written words. And ironically, Atwood makes use of a poem to imagine an unwritten poem. Actually, here she is trying to make use of a poem to imagine an unwritten poem. Please look at the title, Nods Towards a Poem That Can Never Be Written. Yes, here she makes use of a poem to imagine an unwritten poem about victimization of women and other kinds of oppression. With the help of this particular poem, she is trying to imagine an unwritten poem about what? About victimization of women and other type of other kinds of oppression that is existing in that particular country. This is the background, or this is this particular poem. This is the idea, main idea embedded in this particular poem. Nods towards a poem that can never be written. I think all of you understand this session, and there is a homework for you, and the homework is write about the write a note on the introductory part of this particular poem, nods towards a poem that can never be written. That is about the poet and about the poem. That is background of the poem. Write your homework and send back to me. Thank you. Have a nice day. See you again.